wall is. Right? Notice how steep that
I told you do.
Okay? That one here. Okay, so this is the cirque that's formed this way. And you can see how this is the tallest peak around. So most of the snow was here. And then it started building up and building up and building up, and then it started carving. You can almost see it like pushing down there and then pushing up like that, right? Like that. And then the glacier go over that little hump there and then down to Headley Tarn. So it would go around this hill. So we were just over there at lunchtime looking up, well, we couldn't see the lake. The lake's quite deep because of the glacier, the glacial scouring. And what's neat about it is that it's scoured out so much, and because it's been around for 60,000 years, it has a record of fine sediment in it that shows the entire record of the last like 80,000 years. And within it, they can see the pollen and see what the climate was like, from what sort of plants would live in there. And they can use carbon dating up to like 30,000 years ago to see exactly how old it is. And they can see things like when there were fires, when there was drought, when it was cold, when it was hot. They can get all of that by looking at the mud through time. So each layer of mud is younger, 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 and then you get some spots in it that you can get an age for, and then you can study the things that are in it. So for the recent history of Eastern Australia and its climate, the mud that they pull out of the bottom of this is quite useful. So what they would do is they would take like a big pipe, and then they would jam the pipe down into the mud, and then they pull it out, and then they see how many meters they had, and then they would push it all out, and they would have this core that they could cut up and look all the way across. Do oxygen isotopes, you can do carbon dating, you can look at the microfossils, you can look at the pollen, you can look at little bits of ash when it was burning, and you can reconstruct the history of Eastern Australia over the last 60,000 years, which is kind of neat. But the way to dig it so deep is to keep turning the ice in. More ice, more ice. You can imagine it forcing down here and then rotating it up and digging and scouring pieces of granite out of there. Now if we had more time, we could wander over, and on those faces over there you can see glacial striations that are sort of scratch marks down the face, and you can see places where the glaciers polished it as it went down. But we don't have time because we're supposed to be back at the bus at 5. So this is a pretty neat place, I think, and this is where probably the biggest of the best of the glaciers here formed, and it carved the deepest hole, and it has that whole peak. If you come here in winter, which I have, it's really lovely, and I think you should walk out here someday in the winter. You can see that has mountains of snow on it, and you can almost see glaciers forming. Even just come out here in June, because you can do this walk any time of year. It's actually lovely, especially people from Queensland. Right?
No thanks.
Right? So that's the Blue Lake story, and I don't think we should run down there just to swim. It's nice swimming weather. Are they still going?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hope they hurry up. What are they doing? Well, that's what their plan. I've gone swimming in this lake 3 times on field trip like this, but I don't have time, and it's a little chilly. Is that what they're doing? Are they still going?
There's people coming back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.